The protests outside the Bell Hotel in Epping are not the root of the problem. They are the flare from a deeper fire, one lit not by asylum seekers but by state negligence. Roger Hurst, Essex's police and crime commissioner, wants the migrants removed from the hotel. The district councillors voted unanimously to shut it down. Local unrest, a deeply serious sexual assault allegation and police strain have turned a sleepy Essex town into a national flashpoint. But the demand to move asylum seekers is not the answer. The real scandal is that they were left there in limbo to begin with. The fault line lies not with desperate people seeking sanctuary, but with the chronically underperforming Home Office, and the call shouldn't be to close hotels, it should be to open files. We need a well-resourced, fully staffed, accountable system that processes claims swiftly and fairly, not one that abandons individuals for months, even years, without clarity, security, or justice. We need a Home Office that works. We need a Home Office that is answerable. We need a Home Office that is accessible. Britain is a G7 country, yet our asylum system operates like a developing bureaucracy in crisis. Slow, opaque, paranoid, and cruel. Other nations manage to process asylum seekers within weeks. Germany does. We take years. And what do we do in the meantime? We warehouse people in converted hotels. We treat them like suspicious livestock and then feign shock when this creates community tension. Let's examine what this hotel system has become. It isolates. Migrants are removed from towns and cities and placed in liminal spaces cut off from integration, language training or employment. It infantilizes. Many migrants have no agency in where they go or how long they'll stay. To lose agency, it takes years to recover from that. Their lives are paused indefinitely. And it endangers. When unrest breaks out, as it did in Epping, migrants are told to stay indoors after 5 p.m. There's a curfew. When did that... What does that remind you of? Doesn't that remind you of the ghetto, of the Venice ghetto, where Jews are herded into one particular area, a gated area, and locked in? They're told to stay in from nightfall. That is a ghetto. We have revived the ghetto. One person was reportedly assaulted returning to the hotel. Another was chased, windows smashed, graffiti daubed. Their safety is compromised while politicians bicker. Of course, serious allegations such as the one against Hadush Kebatu must be investigated thoroughly. No asylum system can function without safeguarding vulnerable locals and prosecuting any offender regardless of background. But the principle of justice is that one man's alleged crime is not the guilt of an entire group. And yet Reform UK and others seized this tragedy to tar all migrants as threats. Farage stokes the fire, calling for the police chief's resignation, indulging conspiracy, and painting Essex as a town under siege. These are not responsible interventions. These are cynical provocations designed to harvest resentment and fear. Instead of this, we must increase Home Office staffing and digital capacity to clear the backlog of cases, with no more excuses. We must end hotel use by investing in properly managed, community-based accommodation with safeguards and oversight. We must establish triage procedures to rapidly determine who has a genuine asylum claim and who does not. We must protect all communities by keeping police funded and properly deployed, not worn thin, reacting to crises of Whitehall's own making. The real disgrace here is not that migrants are being housed in hotels, it's that they're being left here indefinitely. A just society doesn't place a target on the backs of asylum seekers and then pretend to be surprised when the far right shows up with placards and flares. Epping needs to be a lesson, not in how to stoke fear, but in how badly we need a government not afraid of competence. If the Home Office can't sort out asylum claims with decency and speed, then the problem is not the migrant, it's the ministry. If the Home Office has such a backlog, the problem is not the amount of migrants who are coming over to this country, it's the ministry. If the migrants are being attacked by the local population, if there's people with placards on the street around the hotels where migrants are being placed, that's not the migrants' fault. That's the fault of the ministry. And who's in charge of the ministry? Yvette Cooper.